Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? Happy Thursday. Today is not, it doesn't feel like a Thursday. I don't know why. I don't really know what day it feels like, but it doesn't feel like a Thursday. And I'm actually sitting here waiting for this video to get done uploading. And I was like, okay, it's taking forever to upload this video on my phone. I don't know why. Usually on my phone it's like super quick, but it's taking forever. And so I was like, waiting for it to get done, and then I was going to start vlogging after that. And then I was like, well, I just keep on sitting here looking at it. I've got it like up in front of me on the computer, but then I'm like, it's uploading on my phone. And I just keep on looking at it. I'm like, is it ever going to get done? Like, I don't think it's ever going to get done. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to start vlogging. And when I get done vlogging, at that point, let's see what the time is, because it's getting later. So it is currently 7:32 p.m. on Thursday evening, and it's getting later. And I was like, you know, depending on how long this vlog goes, I'm like, if this vlog goes, I don't know. Most of my vlogs have been between an hour and 15 and an hour and 30 minutes. So maybe tonight we'll do a little bit of a shorter vlog to let people get caught up. Now watch I say that and it'll be a 2-hour vlog. But I was like, so when I get done with this and then I get the video up, if it's too late, I'll just post it tomorrow, is what I'll do. But anyway, it's been a good day. I had a little bit of a slow start today when I woke up. I felt shaky when I woke up, but it didn't last as long as it did yesterday. It feels like, so there was like the 2 good days that I had where I didn't feel shaky at all. And then it like kind of returned to it a little bit, but like each day it's getting less and less, and today was less than yesterday. So it's kind of like the return to normal was a lot quicker. I don't know, maybe this is me like working through the situational anxiety. I have no idea. I hope so. I hope that that's what it is. But I woke up today and I just like, at first I just kind of felt off and it was just kind of a slow start. And then I came downstairs, like made the bed, brushed my teeth, washed my face, came downstairs. And I was like taking my vitamins and stuff. And I was like, I started coming out of it rather quickly. And I started feeling better and stuff. So I had a package outside on the front porch. And so I went out there and I was kind of like walking around and kind of see what the temperature was like. It was cold, but it didn't feel as cold as it's been the last couple days. We'll look up the weather in just a little bit. So Alex is upstairs. He's like been doing laundry and like putting stuff away in the closet. I can hear him in the closet. He's up there right now. So, I don't know, I got through it a lot quicker today than I usually do, which was good. So, I'm happy about that. And then I came inside and I was like, okay, I didn't have any like drama video like planned out. I had been watching some like people do videos about Michaela Nogueira, and so I was kind of like watching a little bit of that. I'd been watching it like over the last 2 weeks. And people doing videos about it and people commenting on it. So I kind of like thought maybe I would do that video. I had like 2 or 3 other videos that I was maybe going to do. I had like a Jaclyn Hill video that I was maybe going to do. And so I was like, I wasn't really sure what drama video I was going to do. I literally sat down here and I was like, I knew what TV video I was going to do because I had watched all this TV last night. But I didn't really know what I was going to do on my other channels. And I didn't end up filming as many videos as I wanted to film today because like I got kind of a slow start. And then when I sat down, I was kind of like pulling things together. I was like, okay, I want to do this, I want to do that, and that didn't feel right, whatever. So anyway, so last night was a good TV watching night. What is tonight? Thursday. So last night was Wednesday. Last night, I watched so much TV last night. So Alex and I watched, he came downstairs and he was like wanting to eat something for dinner. And so he heated some stuff up and then he was like, what do you want? Do you want to watch one of the Housewives? I was so tired at that point from getting like very little sleep the night before. Last night going to bed, well this morning going to bed, I still struggled. And I looked and it was like pitch black outside. So it was very, very dark when I went to bed this morning. So I don't know if it necessarily, I had thought that in the past. Somebody mentioned that in the vlog and said maybe you're having a hard time going to sleep because it's light when you go out. But I mean, maybe it's just the time, you know, maybe it's just that time in the morning. I struggle going to bed. I don't know. But I had a hard time falling asleep again this morning. Alex was actually like getting up and getting ready and going to work. And I was like talking to him the whole time. I was like, last night when he laid down, like he was like out like that. And I was like talking, I mean, he literally like laid on the pillow, plugged in his phone, turned over towards me, and I said to him, I go, are you tired? And he goes, huh? And I go, are you literally asleep already? And he didn't respond. I mean, he was like out that quick. I was like, God. And so this morning I was telling him, I was like, I'm like so jealous that you fall asleep so quick. I mean, I've never been that person. I've never been that person that just like falls asleep that quickly. But so anyway, even like when, like, you know, growing up and whatever, I didn't start really taking nap. Like, I mean, I'm sure I did when I was a little kid, but I didn't really start taking naps like I take now. I mean, obviously not at 10 o'clock at night. I never did that in high school, but I didn't take like a regular nap on a daily basis, like as an adult, until I was like in high school. I mean, I wasn't an adult yet, but you know what I mean? Like when I was older, like older naps, you know? I mean, I'm sure as a little kid, I don't even really remember my mom talking about me napping and stuff like that. I do remember, like, I think she said I wasn't like, she'd always say you stayed up really, really late, but she just, both my parents were like, you were just like a really easy child, like a really easy toddler. So I don't know, but like when I was in high school, I got very, very little sleep, and I always stayed up super, super late. But in high school, and I think it was because of my Uncle Dave took a lot of naps. Somebody sent me something today. What did they say? Oh no, I went through all my Christmas cards last night that I got. And I can't remember who it was. Maybe it was Vic. Hey Vic, how are you? I think it was Vic in her letter that she sent me, asked me to tell some like funny or sweet stories about my Aunt Kathy and Uncle Dave, which I can do. But one of my strongest memories of my Uncle Dave is I can remember like on weekends being over there, definitely for holidays, like Thanksgiving and Christmas and stuff, when we were at their house. He would just like, I mean, we would be done with dinner, and like as everybody was clearing the tables and stuff, he'd be like, I'm going to take a nap. And he would like walk in his bedroom, close the door, and you would hear the fan go on. He always slept with a fan. The two reasons why I sleep with a fan is that my Uncle Dave, because my Uncle Dave always slept with a fan, number one. Number two is because I went and stayed summers at my Aunt Janny's farm, my dad's sister, when I was growing up, and it was so hot. I don't think they had centralized or central air back then, and it was so hot. And so I can remember going there one summer and sleeping like in my, I think she was gone. I don't know where she would have been. Maybe she was at like a camp. It wasn't like, one of the summers I stayed there, my cousin went to college. I think she was at like a pre-college orientation or something, because I was sleeping in a room and it was so hot. We had the windows open in the entire house, like every window in the house was open. And I can remember they had like, probably like tons of fans. I don't even remember, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 fans. I don't even know. But every night I slept with a fan. And on that trip, and I used to stay up there for a long period of time. It was like 2 weeks, because it was when my parents would go. Even after they were separated, my mom still used the tickets and went. She went with my dad's partner, my dad's business partner's wife, because they were best friends at that time, and they would go to the tennis championships, which was the clay courts, but then it turned into the RCA tennis championships. And so I stayed up at my aunt and uncle's for like 2 weeks in Fort Wayne every summer. And I can remember like sleeping with a fan. It was so hot that whatever summer it was that I started that, and I slept with a fan. And after that I came home, I told my mom, I was like, we have to get a box fan. Like I had to have a box fan just like they had, sleeping next to me, like right on my face. And I have slept with a fan ever since then. My Uncle Dave was like the one, I think, and then like I recognized that he slept with a fan, because other than being like on a hot farm in the middle of the summer, I mean, Indiana summers back in the day used to get to like 100, I mean over 100 degrees every single day. Other than that though, I don't remember a lot of adults that I knew that slept with fans when I was growing up. But I started it then, but then I remember my Uncle Dave doing it too. Like I can remember like, maybe I don't know, maybe I already knew that and I connected, I have no idea. But anyway, I do remember my Uncle Dave taking naps, like he always took naps. And so when I was in high school, if I wasn't like with my one friend, like we would go to Wendy's a lot and eat in high school. We'd always get a double cheeseburger plain. And then we would get fries and a Frosty, and we would dip our fries in the Frosty. That was like, we did that. It was so funny because there was a Wendy's. So I went to Carmel High School, which is like a suburb on the north side of Indianapolis. And there was a Wendy's in Carmel, but we would drive all the way to Castleton, which is close to where I live now. And I mean, it's like a 25-minute drive. I don't know if we just wanted to listen to music and smoke cigarettes or what, but we would drive all the way out of the way just to go to this one Wendy's, which incidentally, we just drove by not too long ago, and it's finally closed. I mean, it's so crazy. It's been there for like 50 years, and it finally closed. But we would go to that Wendy's like a couple times a week. Because I can remember coming home and my mom would make like a whole meal and she would say like, did you eat? And sometimes I would say no because I didn't want to like hurt her feelings. And then I would like eat again with my mom. I don't know how I kept weight off back then. It wasn't like I was like exercising and stuff. My mom and I walked a lot, but not at that point. We wouldn't have been walking so much, I don't think. I don't know how I kept the weight off. But, so I do remember that. But even when I would like go with her, like we would go straight from school to Wendy's and go eat. And then when I would come home, I would take a nap on the bed. And I can just remember it being like so cozy and so comfortable and stuff like that. It was like, I loved my naps. I absolutely loved my naps when I was in high school. And I can remember my mom like coming upstairs and being like, you know, she'd be like, Peter, we're going to eat dinner. And I was like, okay. And so I would get up from my nap and I'd come downstairs. But my naps were early then. I mean, they were like right after I got home from school. I never did homework in high school. I don't remember, other than maybe like writing a paper or two. I don't remember. I mean, my grades were so horrible in high school. The other thing is weird is that my parents were so academic. And they really never seemed to really care that much about my grades. Like, I can remember a couple times, I mean, I had tutors and stuff like that for like math classes, but I don't remember like my parents ever getting really angry or that concerned about my grades. Caroline, it's interesting because Caroline and I talked about that, and her grades were not great in high school either. They weren't as bad as mine, but they weren't great. I mean, she was obviously more social than she was, you know, studious in high school. But we were talking about it not too long ago, and she said she did remember her parents getting upset about her grades. Her mom, she remembered my Aunt Kathy getting upset about her grades, which is interesting to me. I don't remember my mom. I remember like, so back then, like, you had to bring your grades home. I don't know if maybe my parents just didn't know when grades came out or what, but I can remember kind of like being, like, not wanting to show them my grades and like putting it off for a couple days. But I don't really, I mean, it's not like today where we could just look up on a computer and see what the current grade is. You know what I mean? It was like at the end of the semester, you like brought home your grades. Like a report card in elementary school, and then later it was like some printed out paper. But I don't remember like my parents really asking me about it. And I don't remember my parents getting mad about it. Like, I can remember sitting down. I think the only times they ever got mad about it was, I mean, there were a couple of times that like teachers called my parents and were like concerned about my grades. I think that was the only time, and they never got mad. I don't remember them ever getting mad about it. I just remember them being concerned. And I remember having to I had a couple different tutors for different math classes, but the one tutor that I remember having was for geometry. And it was not helpful and I didn't get it. And it was bad. But, yeah, I don't remember. It's so weird. I don't remember my parents ever being like, you need to get those grades up. And I never did I ever have those kind of conversations with my parents, which is so interesting. I have even more lip glosses now, lip balms, because I brought the rose one down here from upstairs. So which one should I use today? We'll use the Nivea. I think this is my favorite that I've got out here. How did I even get on talking about that? Oh, my naps. But yeah, I would come home from school. If I didn't go with her and go eat, and we didn't just like run around, sometimes we would go to like get a fountain pop back in the day. I mean, sometimes we, you know, did things that you weren't supposed to do after school and whatever. But if we didn't do that and I just came home, I did come home a lot. I spent a lot of time at home when I was in high school. Which is interesting because, like, you know, like teenagers hang out in their room a lot. At my dad's house, I loved my room at my dad's house. My room, okay, so my parent, or my dad and my stepmom, their bedroom at their house is like on the main floor. And so they have like a main floor master that's like at the end of this long hallway. When you walk into their house, there's like this huge staircase that goes up. So my dad's office is up there. Then like, so my stepmom paints. So she's like a painting gallery up there, like her studio gallery is up there. And then there's like a guest bedroom. There's 2 guest bedrooms. And then my bedroom was at the very end of this long hallway. And it overlooked like the lake and in the woods on one side. And I could do whatever I wanted to do up there because nobody could hear me. Because my stepmom's bedroom was at the other end of the house and my bedroom was at this end of the house. It was like over the kitchen. You couldn't hear me at all. And so I loved that room. And I had a TV bed. I had a TV, you know, VCR. I had a waterbed. Oh my God, I had a full wave waterbed. I think that's so hilarious when I look back on that. My cousin Caroline, she actually had a waterbed. Her waterbed was like not full wave though. Do you guys remember like Waterbed Warehouse? I remember going and like checking out the bed that I wanted. I remember I wanted like a full wave. I mean, it was all just mattress full of water. There was like my cousin Caroline, her waterbed was like half mattress, half waterbed. I don't know how they did it, but do you know what I'm talking about? But my waterbed was like full wave waterbed. I used to like, okay, do you remember those like little, it wasn't just like, but did you remember the New York seltzer? I think they were called New York seltzers. They were like sodas, but they were like cream soda and root beer and stuff. So I used to get those root beers at my dad's house, but I had those bottles, and then I used to have like bottles of like tonic and stuff like that my dad and my stepmom always had around the house. And so I would steal alcohol from them, and I would put it in the bottles, and I had 4 different types of alcohol, and I would hide it, because the mattress of the waterbed, it was just like you could put something in the corner of it, nobody could ever find it. I used to call it the 4 corners of the earth. I would tell my friends that, and I had different kinds of alcohol hidden in 4 different corners of my bed. Do you know what's so funny as I think about that bedroom is, the one and only time, well, there was like 2 times that my dad got, I mean, he obviously got mad at me a lot about the drug stuff, but I can remember one time that he absolutely freaked out. I mean, this was after like multiple times that I had gotten busted for like, you know, drugs and alcohol and stuff like that. My dad, like, and they never like went, like very rarely went through my stuff. I mean, very rarely did my parents ever go through my stuff. It's so weird when I think about that in retrospect. But this one time, my dad found something, I can remember I was like smoking in my bedroom, and I was like hanging out the window, and they asked me, they like confronted me, and they were like, are you, I think my stepmom went through to see if she could find like an ashtray or something in my room, because they were like afraid I was going to leave an ashtray with like butts burning in it or something like that. I can't remember how it happened, but I think my stepmom went in the bedroom and she could smell cigarette smoke. And so then my dad went upstairs and he like went through this drawer. I had like this dresser like drawer, not like, you know, nightstand next to it. And I remember my dad went through this drawer, and he found in there those, what do we call them back in the day? We called them White Crosses. Do you guys remember what I'm talking about? They're like I don't think they make them anymore. They're like what truck drivers used to buy at the gas station to stay awake all night long. They're basically no-dos, but like on a heavier level. It's like speed. It's like over-the-counter speed. And in high school, we used to take them all the time. I can remember it like make your hair crawl. It was like, I don't know why we even did it. We would take it like on weekends when we wanted to stay up real late, but it was like, it was such an irritable feeling. You would never, I mean, I never remember like taking it and loving it, but we would do it all the time. I can remember you could go in the gas station, but you had to ask for something else. I can't remember what you had to ask for. You couldn't go in there and be like, can we have a bottle of White Crosses? You had to ask for, you had to call it something different to ask for them at the gas station. I see things that look like them now, but I don't think they're the same thing, because I think didn't they take ephedrine off the market? I think it was ephedrine is what was in it. But anyway, my dad found a bottle of that in my drawer. He went crazy. He was like, why are you taking this? He was like, this is so dangerous, blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, I can remember at that time thinking to myself, I was like, this was like the one and only, I think this was like the one and only time I said I was holding him for a friend. I mean, my parents were smart. They weren't going to buy that kind of shit, you know? But I think that was like the one and only time I said something like that to my dad. He was like, these are yours. You're not holding these for a friend. He was like, I think it's like the one time I said, he reacted so weird about it. He was so pissed about these stupid over-the-counter. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they really were that dangerous. I don't know. But I just thought all this other stuff that I've gotten busted for, and like, this is what you're pissed about? I can remember that just being like, he was really pissed about that. Like, that's the only time that I really remember my dad, like when I went into treatment, he was just, I mean, his anger came from being done. Like, he had tried so many times and he was just kind of done. But yeah, I loved that bedroom. Oh my God, I loved that bedroom so much. And my dad and my stepmom went to bed early. My stepmom, not so much. She would stay up late, and she and I would like sit in the kitchen sometimes and talk and stuff like that. She still stays up late. I mean, she doesn't stay up like till 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock like I do, but every once in a while she'll text me and it'll be like 12:30 or 1 o'clock, and she'll be like, oh, I'm watching this movie, I wanted to tell you about it or whatever. She still stays up late. My mom did too. My dad is always like 8 o'clock is late for my dad to go to bed. I mean, totally late. I mean, every year I ask my dad, like, did you watch the ball drop for the New Year's? He's like, my dad cusses a lot. He's like, are you effing kidding me? He's like, I did not stay up till midnight. He's like, I was in bed by 9 o'clock. My dad, like, I mean, literally for like the last 20 years. I can remember my dad, when he stopped, like when he retired, and he was like, I can start sleeping in now or whatever. And I was like, oh, how late are you going to sleep in? Or something like that. He was like 6. Like, I can remember being on some vacation. It would have been long before he retired that we had that conversation. But we did have that conversation after he retired too. Because I can remember him joking about now he gets to sleep in. And he said it was like till 6 or something. But one time we were like on vacation or something. He's so happy he got to sleep in. My dad would get up at like 4:30 or like 4:30, no later than 5 every single day. I mean, he was out the door by like 5 or 5:30. It's just crazy to me. So, tell me what you want, what you really, really want. Oh, I was talking about that because I was talking about, Amanda sent me this. I showed this on my PO unboxing today. This bracelet, which I absolutely love. It kind of reminds me of the bracelets that Alex got me for Christmas. But it has these beads on it, and each bead has one of our dogs' names on it. It has Pee-Pee, Boo Radley, and Tucker on it. I love it so much. I've been wearing it all day. I just took it off right before we started it and put it here because I wanted to show Alex. But my bedroom at my mom's house, I slept in there. That was it. I didn't hang out there, like, much at all. I just slept in that room. The room was small. The rooms at my mom's house were like, her bedroom was huge. She had like a master suite at the house, but the other, like the guest bedrooms and the bedroom there, it was all, like, they were all really small. Like, my bedroom growing up, I mean, it wasn't even as long as here. I mean, it was small. And I had bunk beds, and then I had like a bookshelf, and I had a dresser and a closet, and then like a window. It was real small. And I mean, the only time I would really hang out there was like at night when I would listen to like the radio shows, or my mom would come in and she would like lay on the floor and we would listen to radio shows like The Shadow and stuff like that. Or if I got in bed and I read. But like, I spent all of my time, like in my mom's, we would watch movies a lot in my mom's bedroom. So she had like a chair, like when you walked in, there was like a table by the door, and then there was like a table with a phone on it and stuff. That's where my dad called. Every morning I would come into my mom's bedroom and answer the phone. And then next to it was like a table with like a TV on it. And then she had like a chair and an ottoman. And then, like, she had these windows that went, like, they were, like, recessed. So, the house that I grew up in, I think I actually in a vlog showed it one time. But my parents built it after, like, it was a French farmhouse that was supposed to look like it was in the Cotswolds. I can't pronounce it. Anyway, so it was the coolest house. It had window seats and all kinds of stuff. In my mom's bedroom, like, it had slanted roofs and areas and stuff like that. And so her bed was underneath this area that was slanted. But the windows, like, you walked into this area and then the windows were there. It was really cool. And she had this little seating area with like a chair and an ottoman. Actually, that chair and ottoman is in our basement. Is that not so crazy? Because my mom had it here and she had it in her bedroom. And then I moved it to the basement. And I was like, well, maybe one day I'll want to recover it. It's a really comfortable chair. No, I don't want to. It's old as sin. I don't know why I would want to do that. But it's still sitting in the basement. It's one of the things we got to donate. So then she had like this chair and this ottoman and this like table and a lamp. And I can remember my mom would sit, that's where she would read or watch TV, and she would smoke. She would sit there and smoke. I mean, it's so weird to think that people smoked in their houses, you know, like that. And then next to that, like across the room, was where her bed was. And she had like a king-size bed. And it was like in this corner, like right behind her head was this window that you could like crank out and stuff like that. And it was so weird. I don't know. It's like weird when you think about it now. I mean, it was a cute bedroom. And then she had like this bathroom that you like walked in. It was double sink. And then it had like a walk-in closet behind it. And then the bathtub. And then there was a separate shower. And then the toilet and stuff like that. And then it went down. She had all these like, all the windows had, what do you call it? The wood blinds on them and stuff like that you like opened. It was really cool. It was a really cool house. But I would spend time, like if we watched a movie, we either watched it, like one of the guest bedrooms with the TV room, we would watch it in like the TV room. Then my bathroom was at the very end of the hallway. We would watch it in the TV room, or we would watch it in my mom's bedroom, or we would watch it like on the porch. So we had like this like porch. It wasn't like a screened in porch. It was like a room, but 3 walls of the room were all floor to ceiling windows that you could crank out. So we just called it the porch, but it had like, you know, carpet and stuff like that. We watched a lot of TV there. In the winter, we would watch TV so we had like a library in the house that I was growing up in that had like floor to ceiling, like built-in bookshelves and stuff like that. And it was all around the room. So they called it the library. It had a huge fireplace and stuff like that. I remember us bringing a TV, like a smaller TV, and we would watch TV and stuff in there. Oh, you know, at the kitchen table, we watched a lot of TV too. I love that house. But like, it was built to be like this English, you know, like this English cottage kind of thing. So all the rooms were very small. They weren't like, it wasn't like this, like the rooms were big and stuff like that. The basement was huge, but it was unfinished. We used to roller skate down there, me and my friend across the street. One whole summer we roller skated, one whole winter Well, no, it was when the snowstorm was really bad. We roller skated down there, and we acted like we were, this is so weird when I think back on this, because I don't even know how old we would have been, but it was when we would have had some big storm. Maybe it was the ice storm that people were talking about the other day, not the blizzard of 78. So she was like 2 years older than me, and we roller skated in the basement, and we acted like we were at the Playboy Mansion and that we were roller skating in their dance floor. We must have seen the Playboy Mansion on something on TV. And she was Donna Summer, and I was Hugh Hefner, and we were at the Playboy Mansion, and we were like, we would roller skate, we would play the Xanadu album. The things you remember as being kids. How do you invent stuff like that? You talk about the imagination and the creativity of kids, right? Like 2 kids thinking that we're just gonna roller skate in the basement. I mean, that basement, I think you know where it came from was actually the movie Xanadu. It was why we were skating in the basement. Because like, do you remember they would skate in that warehouse? They skated in that warehouse at the very end. Have you never seen you've never seen Xanadu? Oh my God, so good. But I haven't seen it in years and years and years, but the very end, like all the muses come down for Olivia Newton-John, and then they like skate in that warehouse, and it's like Xanadu. That's when they play the song at the end, and all that kind of stuff. So I think we were trying to recreate that. Let's look and see what year Xanadu came out, because that'll kind of give me a better idea of age. But anyway, how we came up with the Playboy Man, that we were at the Playboy Mansion, I have no idea. Xanadu. Movie year. What year did it come out? 1980. So I would have been at least 8 when that came out. Oh my God, that was such a good movie. I feel like I was a year or 2 older than that though. But how did, like, I remember she had like, my mom always had like tons and tons of play clothes, and I can see like my friend, and she had like this long like floral silk robe on, like over her clothes, and she was like, I'm Donna Summer. I don't know why we came, isn't that so funny? How do you come up with stuff like that? But anyway, and I remember I had the 8-track of Xanadu, and it was played on like this robot thing. I should look and see what that thing is called. Oh, damn it, Janet, that hurt. I can just tell that closet upstairs, if you can hear the floors, they are creaking so bad. He was like up there rearranging that entire closet. He was playing music before, and I was like, okay, I gotta get this vlog done at some point. He was like, okay, he's like, I'm putting laundry away and stuff like that, because he's been doing laundry and stuff. And I was like, okay, I said, he goes, well, I can put my AirPods in. I was like, that's fine. So it's so funny because he's like in there, I can tell he's like rearranging everything. And the floor is just like creaking, like I can just see him up there like lifting stuff up. His side of the closet is, well, my side of the closet is so organized now too. Look, I have all these different reading glasses. I didn't want to wear these blue ones. Okay, hold on a second. I watched this documentary last night called Don't Die. And the whole time, every time they kept on saying it, it's called Don't Die, the Man That Wants to Live Forever. And every time that they would talk, they would say, don't die. I always thought, don't cry. Don't cry. Okay, robot that played 8 tracks. Let's look it up and see. Robot that played, I mean, this is how I played all my 8-track cassettes back in the day, was on this robot thing. I can even see it plugged in, like in the, we would open the garage door and plug it. There was this plug-in, what do you call that, socket, right by the side of the garage door, and we would put it like on, I can see it there, like on the driveway. Robot that played 8 tracks. I have it down in the basement, actually, if it's worth anything. This will be hilarious if it's worth anything. Oh my God, here it is. 2XL. Vintage 2XL. Oh, it's used on eBay for $169, $158, $145. Oh my God. 2XL, vintage talking trivia robot, 8-track player. Do you know what else I had? Is that it? Yeah, that was it. The vintage 80s. Oh my God. Well, here, a Macari, it's $54, $64. Xanadu. Oh my God, that's exactly it. $169. 1970s type 2 mega toy, 2XL talking robot. Okay, let's look at the other toys that I had when I was growing up and see if any of them were worth anything. So I had the Millennial Falcon, even though I didn't watch, but I watched the Star Wars. I went to the movie theater and saw, I can see myself in the parking lot with a Star Wars t-shirt on. And I remember going to see the movie with my dad and like one of his friends and their son. So whenever that movie came out. Okay. Millennium Falcon 70s toy. I had like the replica of it. Let's see. Oh, there it is. Oh my God. Is it worth anything? $9.99. That's some shit right there. Vintage Louis Galoob Star Wars Millennial Falcon. $9.99 on eBay. Are you kidding me? $24.99? No. Okay. How about Teddy Ruxpin? I still have that in the basement too. Ruxpin tape player. It's like a stuffed animal that plays tapes. Oh, there it is. Okay. Teddy Ruxpin tape player. Is it worth anything? Here, it's on eBay, but it doesn't. The camera stopped, and I don't even know why. Were you guys there when I was looking up the Teddy Ruxpin? Okay, so I looked up the Teddy Ruxpin tape player, and it was like 108, and there was another one that was 60. Now we're looking up the Donnie and Marie stage and dressing room. That was one of my favorites. With dolls. Oh my God, I had both of them. I had the Donnie and Marie dolls. If it's on here, I will die. It like spun. Oh my God, there it is. The dollhouse. Oh my God, I cannot believe it. Oh my God, this is crazy. It's on Etsy. How much is it? They call it the dollhouse, the Donnie Osmond dollhouse. Okay, the Donnie Osmond doll is $50. The double dollhouse is $50. Oh my God, that's crazy. See, nothing's worth anything anymore. All this Donnie Osmond. The doll's $41. Marie Osmond, $12. Poor thing. Oh, here she is in the box, $80. I saw her on some show the other day. She still looks so good. Have you guys seen Marie Osmond lately? She looks so good. You can get both of the dolls for $87.03. I kind of want to get them, honestly. Okay, let's look up something else. So the other thing, do you guys remember the Playform things? That would be like a scene, but then you would have like, they were just plastic like Playforms. You just stick them on there. I had the Charlie's Angels Playforms. I loved those so much. Let's see if they had, everything I had was like a TV show. Isn't it so funny though that like all the TV shows, like stuff that we had were like adult shows. Okay, Charlie's Angels Playform set. Is that what it's called? It says platform. Charlie's Angel, oh, no, they're showing me the movies. Charlie's Angels toys. Let's look up toys. Toys. Hideaway House. No, that's not it. Where is it at? Was it? No. Oh God, I remember that Hideaway House. I love that. Popular products. Oh my God, I had the lunchbox. Oh, that's not the lunchbox. Okay. It's the wood. What are those? Barbie toys, 2009. I don't remember those. Nobody wanted Sabrina. Get out of here, Sabrina. Look at Mega Charlie's Angels Sabrina Duncan 8-inch figure, $14.99. Because you know why? Because nobody wanted Chris Monroe, $14. She's cheaper. Everybody wanted to be Chris Monroe. Nobody wanted to be Sabrina. Nobody. I wanted to be Jacqueline Smith. What was her name on the show? I can't remember. Hasbro's Charlie's Angels. Jill. Oh, Jill was the original. Chris Monroe was the second. She was her niece or something like that. Jill was Farrah Fawcett. $60. Okay. Who's Dylan from Charlie's Angels? I don't know Dylan. Okay, Kelly. Oh, Kelly. Kelly Garrett. Was that her name? Kelly Garrett. Let's look it up. Let's see if Pierre's memory is that good. Kelly Garrett. Why does it show a picture of Charlie's Angels and Jacqueline Smith? I used to love Jacqueline Smith so much, and she was also in a bunch of Christmas movies. Okay, also, let's look up Mork and Mindy. Lunchbox. I had all the lunchboxes. Let's see if you can find it today. Okay, this is the one I had, the yellow plastic one. They have different ones, but this was the one I had. 1978. Was I 6 years old when that came out? Oh my God, I have a slot machine for $59.99. Look at all these lunchboxes, these retro lunchboxes. Oh my God, I have this one right here. The Red Barn one, $125. My mom sold all these in a garage sale. Oh my God, the Hot Wheels one. Oh, I had that one, $168. Oh my God, we had all of these back in the day. I am so pissed my mother sold all of these at a garage sale. Okay, vintage lunchboxes. It's gonna pull up something from like Prairie Times or something. Let's look at this up real quick. Vintage we're on Etsy now. Let's see what they have. See which ones I had. No, don't. There's a Wizard of Oz. There's a Camp Candy, Scooby-Doo. I don't remember that one. Oh, these are like old time ones. Okay, the Candyland one I did have. Oh, it's only $18. No, we don't want her. She's junk. There's a Honeymooners one for $55. I didn't have, that was way before my time. Yogi Bear, I might have. I had like a Love Boat one, if I remember. Love Boat and Fantasy Island. I remember having those. You can buy a whole collection of them for $25. Have you ever seen people that carry lunchboxes as purses? Cabbage Patch doll. Oh my God, I sold a Cabbage Patch doll one time on, I mean, this was probably 25 years ago, on eBay for so much. Okay, let's look on here. Let's see if there's a Love Boat. I remember thinking that was the coolest thing ever. Love Boat lunchbox. Oh, I did have the Brady Bunch one. Oh, they sell them at Walmart? What? I'm so confused. No, they have. Oh, here it is. CBS label mini Love Boat lunchbox. This looks mini though. That's not the one I had. Oh, where am I at? I just went out of this. Okay. Anyway, those were the toys that I had when I was growing up. What else did I have growing up? Oh, Lincoln Logs. I had those. The Game of Life. Chutes and Ladders. All the toys I had when I was a kid. I read a lot. So much as a kid when I was little. I always read. Okay, let's get into... God, I've gone down totally memory lane, haven't I, tonight? Somebody asked me what... Okay, so I think it was Vic that in the letter said, what's a good memory about your aunt and uncle? A good, like, funny or sweet memories about my aunt and uncle. Well, the last really good memory that I have for them was that my aunt passed in January. Alex always remembers how long it is. I can never remember anymore. But my aunt passed in January. My uncle passed a year and a half later. I think it was like a year and a half later. Maybe it was almost exactly a year later or 2 years later. I can't remember. But oh, no. Because he died in the summer. I can remember I was at Subway in the parking lot when Caroline called me. And it was right before July 4th weekend. So it would have been a year and a half later that my Uncle Dave passed away. But my last good memory with them is, because that Christmas, she was just like really sick. And that was a shitty Christmas anyway. But my last really good memory with my Aunt Kathy was after, I think it was right after Thanksgiving that year. It was their 50th wedding anniversary. And so they had already had their wedding anniversary, but they like had all of us. So it was Caroline and Mike and David, Alex and I, Caroline's two stepsons, Caroline's one stepson and his wife, and then Caroline's other stepson and his then girlfriend. And we all went to, I can't think of what that place is called. I want to say Belterra, but it's not at the casino. God, no, I'm losing I literally just had this on the tip of my tongue. Casinos, Indiana. Why can't I think of it? It's the name of the city. Casinos, Indiana. Let's look it up. Why is this not pulling up for me? Okay. Belterra, Bally's, Four Winds. No. Why can't I think of what it is? The hotel down there is so beautiful. And she took us, so my aunt and uncle took all of us, and where is it at? Four Winds. Everybody talks about Four Winds. I've never been to Four Winds. It's up north. Rising Star. French Lick. French Lick is what it is. So French Lick is, supposedly it's like where mobsters like went back in the day and stuff like that. And they have like natural springs and all that kind of stuff. And so I think I vlogged the whole thing actually. I think that was like my first year. It was before I started vlogging, so it would have been on my drama channel that I showed all that. And we went down there for their anniversary. And I think we stayed like a Friday and a Saturday or something like that. I remember, so we stayed in like, you can stay at the hotel that's at the casino, or you can stay at, there's two different hotels. And the one that we stayed at was like the one where they have the Christmas tree in the middle. It's gorgeous. And it's literally like, it's so nice. And huge Christmas tree, there's always stores. It kind of reminded me of Michigan a little bit, like the Grand Hotel. And there was like an ice cream shop in there, and always unbelievable restaurants. I remember that when we were there, they were doing this Polar Express thing where they would take the kids on a train. And they would, like little kids. And so there were a lot of people that were staying for that, because you could stay there and like do this Polar Express thing where they would like do the hot chocolate from, Polar Express. But anyway, we went there and like they had this amazing dinner at the steakhouse. We all got dressed up. I remember my Aunt Kathy, like she was so excited about this white dress that she got. I actually think it's the dress that Caroline buried her in, because she loved that dress. It was like this white lace dress, because right before we went on that trip, maybe that summer, I don't know, couldn't have been that long before, Susie, my mom's best friend, who was also like really good friends with my Aunt Kathy, Susie, she came to visit, and Susie my Aunt Kathy, Alex, and I, and this other woman, we all went out to dinner. And so then Susie, I remember leaving there, and Alex was like, he had to go home. I think he had to work or something like that. And Susie was like, why don't you come back to your Aunt Kathy's house, and we'll just hang out for a while. And I can remember, I was like, oh, okay. And Alex was like, go, you'll have fun. And I remember my Aunt Kathy brought out the dress, and she was so excited about it. And Susie was staying in the basement. And my Aunt Kathy stayed up with us for just a little bit. Then Susie and I stayed up for 4 hours and drank coffee and smoked cigarettes. We were not very good. And we were telling all these stories from the past. I just talked to Susie the other night. It was so good. Alex and I, our friends that we went to, one of the couples that we went to Cancun with for Alex's birthday, they live in Denver. And Susie lives right outside of Denver. And so I told Susie, she's been begging us to come and stay forever. I said, well, what we want to do is do a long weekend. Alex and I want to travel a lot this year. And so I said, maybe we could do a Thursday, Friday with you, and then or a Wednesday, Thursday with you, and then a Friday, Saturday with them. And, stay in a hotel downtown, and then hang out with them on the weekend and stuff like that. And she was like, yeah, that'd be great. But she's also coming to Indiana because, okay, did she say it's her 60th year? Okay, so my mom, Susie's a year older than my mom. Hold on a second, let's do the math. Well, I can do the math, 43. So my mom would be 81. My mom would be 81 right now. And so Susie, no, maybe Susie's a year behind my mom. Susie's either 82 or 80. And so I think it's her 60th Pi-Fi anniversary. I said, gal, how many Pi-Fis? She's going to Bloomington, where Indiana University is for it. I said, gal, how many Pi-Fis from your class? And she started laughing so hard. She goes, there's 15 of us that are going to this reunion. I go, 15? 80-year-old Pi-Fi. She started laughing so hard. But she's coming, and that's Little 5 weekend, which is in May. So she's coming for that. She's really, really excited about that. She travels so much. Last year, she went to Croatia for a wedding. She went to Madrid for something else. She travels so much. Hawaii. Susie travels so much. But anyway, so we're going to go out there and then see her daughters, because her daughters both live in houses on her same street where they grew up. Isn't that so cute? I love that. But anyway, Susie and I stayed up real late. That was fun. And so that trip to French Lick, though, with my Aunt Kathy, because her health from lung disease was declining at that point anyway, and she wasn't doing great. And I remember that was the last good time that we really had with her, where she could actually go do stuff and whatever. And that was really fun. That whole weekend was really fun. And we would go back and forth. That's where Caroline, okay, so that place is so cool. If you stay at that hotel, if you're from Indiana and you want a little weekend getaway, I would highly recommend French Lick. The restaurants are fantastic. They have a breakfast buffet. I don't remember if we did it, but it was this outrageous breakfast buffet. They have 5-star steakhouses and stuff there. They have 10 restaurants on site. There's 2 hotels, and then there's hotels outside of that you can go stay at as well. French Lick's a whole city. And there's spas there. The hotel that we stayed in is the one that has all the spas and stuff like that. But there's also Sprinter vans. Love a good Sprinter van in the Real Housewives. Sprinter, did you guys watch this week of Salt Lake City? Well, that's how Alex and I started our TV watching last night. I was so tired, and he was like, okay, let's pick a housewife. And I was like, Salt Lake City. So we watched this week's episode last night. So we'll probably watch the other ones tonight. But anyway, so they would take the Sprinter vans. You could take them. They just ran around all around the clock. I mean, all hours of the day. So you could go from the hotel to the casino, because it wasn't at the same place. I mean, it was on the same property, but it was a 5-minute drive away. So the casino there is small. We were all there. Caroline was playing this game, this fishing game that they have at every casino, where if you fish on the bonus, you can get a progressive. And so I sat down, and she had been waiting for this seat to come open. So she sits down, there's a seat next to it, 2 machines right side by side, same machine. So apparently she'd been watching this machine. Caroline's not a gambler, okay? So I hate this game, first of all. So it opens up. So I'm just sitting there talking to Caroline, just hanging out, right? This is still an ongoing joke today. So I sit down and I put a 20 in or something like that. And I'm just sitting there playing while I'm talking to her. I could care less what machine I was on, right? And Caroline, I'm 4 spins in or something. I can't even remember how it went now, but she was I think I put money in, or maybe I sat down and she was she was that was the machine I wanted. I've been waiting forever to sit there. I go, then have it. I could care less. And so we switched seats. She sat down there and right away got a bonus and hit $1,200 on a progressive. Click out, took her ticket and left. And didn't even give me no money or nothing. That was my machine. I was sitting at that machine. I gave her that machine. You always tip people when you went around them. She didn't give me no money, nothing. It's called casino courtesy, okay? You tip the payout person, the person that pays you out. If somebody has to come over and pay you out, you tip them. If you get if you get like a hand pay, you tip the person that pays you. That's courtesy in a casino, just so you always know, okay? If you like in Indiana, anything over $1,100 you have to pay taxes on, so you get a hand pay, okay? Is it $1,100 or $1,200? God, I haven't been to the casino for so long. I think it's $1,100. So somebody in the comment section below, Lisa, you tell me. So you do a hand pay. So when they come and pay you, they pay you literally with cash, okay? I mean, if you won $100,000, they probably write you a check or something. But if it's like $5,000, they pay you in cash. It's courtesy to tip them out, okay? And it doesn't, you can tip them whatever. I mean, some people tip them like 100, 300. Some people tip them a 20 or a 10. Some people, I think I usually tip like 60 is what I tip, something like that, depending on what I win. If I get a hand pay, I haven't been to the casino in forever, and I haven't got a hand pay when I did go to the casino in forever. So, but anyway, she didn't give me $20. To this day, whenever she starts getting her attitude with me, I'll go, and you never did give me no $20 off that Progressive. She starts laughing. She thinks it's hilarious. So, okay, let's get to so that was probably my best memory with my aunt and uncle. I don't really remember my uncle, incidentally, a whole lot on that trip, but I do remember my Aunt Kathy because she was in a wheelchair at that point, and David pushed her around the whole time. And I remember David was pissed because he must have been, David's 22 now, so that would have been long. I mean, he would have been under 21, so he couldn't go into the casino. And so he was I can remember him and Caroline, he would say he's the most easygoing person in the entire world, but that trip, I can remember, he was I don't know why we planned a trip to come to a casino where I can't even get into he couldn't even go into that area of the park area. And so he just had to stay in the other part of the hotel. Well, my aunt and uncle didn't go either, but so he got to hang out with 80-year-olds while everybody else was at the casino, we stayed there for a long time that night. Caroline went back, and then she came back, and then she met a friend from college at the bar. And then I ended up playing slots with Caroline's stepson and his wife. And she's not a heavy drinker, and she was drinking that night. We got laughing so hard. I don't know how this is all coming back to me now, but that was a fun trip. That was a really fun trip. My aunt was so sweet. The dinner was beautiful. It just was really, really fun. But I'll tell you what I remember about that trip. So we check into our room, okay? So my aunt and uncle got us all rooms there. I mean, they were unbelievable rooms. They were like suites. They were beautiful. And so I remember we got in the room, and I had forgotten to bring a fan, and I was like, I cannot sleep without a fan. I was like, Alex, we have to go to Walmart. He was like, we're not going to Walmart. I mean, at that point, it was we were having dinner in an hour. I was like, I can't sleep without a fan. If we don't go to Walmart now and get a fan, I cannot sleep without a fan. So Alex was like, just download an app on your phone. And I was like, what? He was like, just download one of those sound apps on your phone. I was like, that will never work. So Alex likes to have a fan, but he doesn't necessarily need to sleep with a fan. And so I have to. There's no way. When the electricity goes off and stuff like that, I now have my chargers and stuff ready for it in case that happens. But before, I'd be like, I cannot sleep in that dead silence like that. So I'm downloading these apps that are supposed to sound like a fan, but all they really sound like is just white noise, and it's driving me crazy because I can totally tell the difference between, other people that don't sleep with a fan don't get it, but I also like the air on me. So finally, I think we made it through that first night, or maybe that was a nap we were taking or something. And I said to him, I cannot do that again. We've got to go to Walmart. And he was like, why don't you just go downstairs and ask the concierge if they have fans? And I was like, they're not going to have any fans here. Because at that point, when we would go to hotels, I would ask. I'd be like, before we went, I would call and I'd say, do you guys have a fan so I don't have to bring one? And a lot of hotels didn't have fans. I was like, Alex, they're never going to have a fan here. He goes, just call and ask, or just go down there and ask. And I was so resistant to doing it. I was like, I just know that they're not going to have any fans. So I go down there, and I think there's this guy at the concierge, woman or man, I don't remember, but anyway, I think it was this guy at the concierge, and I was like, I'm really embarrassed to ask you this, but I can't sleep without a fan. He was like, oh, do you need a fan? And I was like, do you guys have a fan? He goes, oh, we've got a ton of them back there. He goes, that people have left behind and stuff like that. I go, you have fans back there? He goes, yeah, how big of a fan do you want? They brought this really nice fan up to a I told Alex, he's like, I told you they'd have a fan. That's called marriage right there. So anyway, that trip was probably the highlights. Other than that, My Uncle Dave and my mom were super, super close. I think seeing them together and like they would just have like these really deep conversations and they would talk about movies for hours. And I miss that. My Aunt Kathy, like everything she did from Caroline's, I always tell Caroline this, I was like, she's like, oh, don't tell me I'm turning into my mother. I'm like, well, you kind of are a little bit, but like every like place settings, table settings, flower arrangements, dinners, and everything was so planned out. I mean, the wrappings of presents, everything that my aunt did, her home, everything was just gorgeous, just absolutely. And she did it all herself. So it wasn't, I mean, even flower arrangements. She loved McNamara florists, she liked sunflowers, but like she would go, and Caroline does this now too, which is why I told her to turn into her mom. She would buy the flowers and she did the arrangement herself. She loved to do it. She loved everything she loved to arrange herself. She just liked to make it pretty. I think that in retrospect, my mom was very similar to that, but my mom was not as, I would say, refined as my Aunt Kathy. I think they came from such poor backgrounds, and I think that my grandma was very strict about manners, and she was very strict about table settings and things like that. And I think it's because she was so poor, and now in retrospect, I know she had been in prison, that I think she didn't want her girls to be like that. And I think that's where that came from. Caroline and I have talked a lot about that this incessant need, because I said to Caroline the other day, I said, we were talking about like her mom getting mad about stuff and what she complained about. And she was like, because her mom, I don't remember her mom really complaining about a whole lot. And I said, did she ever like complain about me? And she goes, only when you wouldn't write her thank you notes. I mean, like, that's how our mothers were. Like, if we didn't write thank you notes, they, like, went bonkers, you know? So, anyway, I miss my Aunt Kathy and Uncle Dave so much. My Uncle Dave was just, like, Caroline's calm and ease comes from my Uncle Dave. Like, my Uncle Dave was, I mean, always khakis and a button-down collared blue shirt. Ray-Bans, hair perfect. I mean, I have a picture of him somewhere. I'll have to find it. And he's like he's in Evanston with my mom near Northwestern. It's like when they were younger. And he has like Bass-Weegian loafers on. And like, I always remember in khakis and a button-down collar shirt, always. And he has these like Ray-Bans on. I mean, we're talking like in 1960 something, you know, or if they weren't Ray-Bans, whatever looked like Ray-Bans at that time. And it's such a cool picture of him. My whole day was just a cool guy. But could be very direct too. But not mean direct. My Aunt Kathy just was so sweet, and she loved Alex so much. I mean, she just loved Alex so much. When he came into our family, she just totally was like, I mean, they texted, I think, and talked more than my Aunt Kathy and I talked, you know? I miss her so much. I really do. I miss both of them. My Aunt Kathy and I were so close. You know, when my mom passed away, I think that's part of it. Like, when I talk about, like, you don't hear from a lot of people after somebody passes away. I don't. Like, since my aunt has passed away, I mean, my aunt always included me in everything. But since my aunt has passed away, I mean, thank God for Caroline and Mike, you know? I mean, we have Alex's family, but, like, connection to, like, that, all that, like, my aunt, like, invited me to, you know, all the parties, open houses. I mean, not just Christmas and Easter and stuff like that, but all of this stuff. And so always made me feel very included. And would always let people know, like, if she introduced me to somebody, not like I was just her nephew. She would say, this is my nephew, but this was like, you know, Peter's mom and my mom were only sisters. And I think that's why I do it with Caroline now, explain it. And she would say, he's like my son to me. She would always say that. My Aunt Kathy and I were super, super close. I love her. I loved her. I miss her greatly. Okay, so TV shows from last night, because I can see we're getting close to an hour, I think. Hold on, let me see. Oh, we are at 22 minutes. I went longer than I thought I was going to. I thought I'd make like a 35, 40-minute video. I haven't made a 35, 40-minute video over here in quite some time. So last night Alex came downstairs and he was like, do you want to watch like a Housewives? Because he wanted to eat something. I was like, yeah, sure. So I was like, but I can't do like all three of them tonight. I can't watch like New York, Beverly Hills, and Salt Lake City. And he was like, why not? I was like, because I need a nap. Because I'm going on like 2 or 3 hours of sleep. I'm going to need a nap tonight too. And I said, I'm exhausted. I'm tired. And he was like, okay, babe. He was like, well, which one do you want to watch? And I was like, let's watch Salt Lake, because I think this is the last week. But it's not. Next week is the finale. They're on the girls' trip right now. They're in Puerto Vallarta, which I think is kind of weird as far as a place to go to Mexico. First of all, Puerto Vallarta today is very, very gay. Like, I think they call it Jalisco. I think that's the county it's in. Like, I constantly am seeing gay guys online, and they're always in Puerto Vallarta. But Puerto Vallarta is also, like, where I remember the Love Boat always leaving from. Do you guys remember that if you watch a Love Boat? The resort they were staying at is absolutely beautiful. But, I mean, of course, they're screaming and yelling at each other. So we watched that last night. And then we watch What Happens Live, and Whitney Rose is on there from what do you call it? Salt Lake City, and Dorinda Medley from New York, Ultimate Girls Trip. And she's also on the 3rd season of Traitors, which the first 3 episodes come out tonight. So I'm very, very excited about that. So we watched that, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna lay down. So I went upstairs and I laid down. He came upstairs after me, and then that was when he like fell asleep and was like out like that. I got up and I was like, baby, I got shows to watch tonight. I got shows to watch tonight, okay? So first I watched, well, I wanted to finish The Innocent. And so I stayed up later because I did finish that. So I watched the Jerry Springer documentary because I wanted to watch, I was undecided whether I was going to watch the Jerry Springer documentary or this documentary called Don't Die, The Man Who Wants to Live Forever. That's only an hour and a half. The Jerry Springer documentary, well, it's an hour and a half too because it's 45 minutes an episode. It's 2 episodes. But that's trending at #1 on Netflix. So I was like, okay, I want to watch that and then get that, you know, do that reaction or that review tomorrow. Then the other one can wait till like Friday or Saturday or something. So I watched a Jerry Springer documentary. I lit candles and stuff like that. And I watched a Jerry Springer documentary. I wanted to watch RuPaul and all kinds of stuff, but I didn't get to that. I don't really know what I think about that documentary. So I did a whole reaction to it, so I'm not going to repeat it over here today. But it just is like, it felt like there was a lot that was left out of the documentary. But anyway, so I watched that. It was good, but it just wasn't like the greatest documentary in the world. So I watched that, and then right after I got done with that, I watched The Man Who Don't Die, The Man Who Wants to Live Forever about Brian Johnson, which I knew nothing about this guy whatsoever. A couple people had told me to watch it, so I watched it last night. And I'm going to do my reaction to that on my Peter Watches TV channel, so I won't get into depth about that, but that's weird. It's crazy. I don't know that I would recommend it. Well, what I want to say about it, I'm going to save for my reaction. But when you watch the whole documentary, the real substance of the documentary has nothing. So it's about this guy that doesn't want to die. And so he does all this, like, genetic stuff. Like, he's trying to get... Okay, so I don't even know, to be honest with you, if I understand a lot of it. He takes like 360 pills a day, vitamins. It's all this like life, like longevity studies. He works with these scientists and these doctors and all this kind of stuff. I don't really understand all of it. To like prolong his life as possible. So basically, he is aging at a slower rate than most people. So for like every 12 months, he ages at like a rate of 6.4. So he's like half, so I mean, basically could like double his lifespan, supposedly. And apparently has like the organs of like an 18-year-old. But when you watch the documentary, that's what it's about. But there's so much more to it than that. And I don't even think that he went into it with the intention of the documentary being more than that. But I got so much more out of it. So that was interesting. I watched that. At that point, it was late. I was like, do I stay up and watch The Innocent? I have 1 episode of The Innocent. So I put it on, and I'm like, it's an hour and 10 minutes. It's always the last episode, so long. So I watched the last episode of The Innocent. Okay, I don't, like, I'm going to rank all the Harlan Coben shows when I get done with all of them. This is hands down the best. Hands down the best, the most conclusive. You find out what happens to everybody. I will tell you this, like I was just talking about the other night, that like you think you know what's going to happen. Okay, in the final episode alone, the second to the final episode, you think you know what's going on, and then they spring something else on you. In the last episode itself, okay, they spring like 4 things on you, 5 things maybe, that you never saw coming. I mean, literally, it's like, oh my God. Like these writers, like Harlan Coben is a genius. And then in like the show ends and you think it's over, and they say something at the very end, and then you're like, oh shit, it's not over yet. And then they, like the last 2 minutes of the show, like this huge revelation comes out. I was like, damn. That show is so good. The Innocent is probably the best thriller I have seen in the last year. Hands down. It's so good. And the people that are the actors in it are so good. Everybody in it is like fantastic. I loved that show. So I finished that, and then I went to bed, and yeah, had a really hard time falling asleep yet again. Welcome to my life. And I'm having a Diet Dr. Pepper. And I know people will be like, it's because you drank so much caffeine. I haven't had any coffee today. This is like halfway empty, and I've been drinking this for about 2 hours now. It's not even cold anymore. So this is the 1 bit of caffeine that I've had going today. I think I'm kind of now going just on no sleep whatsoever, that I'm kind of like at the point where I'm just kind of like, do you know what I mean? So My plans for this evening are to, we'll probably watch the Housewives a little bit. My plans for this evening are to, well, when I get done with this, I will render the vlog. There was something else I wanted to talk about. Somebody had asked me something in the comments of the vlog that I wanted to talk about. Anyway, I don't remember what it was now. But tonight, I will, well, as soon as I get done with this, what time is it now? Let's see. Oh, I never looked up the weather. It is currently, oh, it's 8:31. I guess it's not as late as it usually is when I vlog over here, is it? But I will render this vlog and then get it uploaded. And then, yeah, just hang out and relax and stuff like that. Let's look up the weather really quick, shall we? See how cold it is outside right now. People keep on messaging me that we're going to get another winter storm here in the next few days. Okay. Indianapolis weather. Why does my battery look like it's so low? It's not. Okay. Oh, it's, ooh, damnation. It's night. And my mom used to say damnation all the time. It's, the battery stopped. It's 19 degrees outside. Precipitation 0. Oh, it does show snow tomorrow. Okay, let's see. But I think we're only supposed to get like 1 to 3 inches. Isn't that what I read? Millions across South brace for snow and ice. When is that coming? Okay, tomorrow snow. Where does it say down here? Ah, come on now. Snow and ice threaten millions across the South. Where does it not say, like, how much we're supposed to get tomorrow? Oh, here, this is how you do it. Okay. Snow showers early will become steadier snow in the afternoon. Snow accumulating 1 to 3 inches, it still says. Okay, what is this, the South? Satellite images reveal devastating scope. Oh, the California. You guys, if you're out west and if you're in, like, that area, I hope that you were safe. I have been, that's one of the things I did last night, was I was like on Instagram and I was watching like all the reels that people were posting, all the news footage of the Los Angeles, like Pacific Palisades wildfires. I mean, just taking out entire areas. People are homeless, animals are running. I mean, it's so, so sad and tragic. If you guys are out there, I hope to God, and I'm praying for you, that you are safe and that you are doing okay. It's so scary. I've seen so many people evacuate. They posted online they're evacuating. It's so unbelievable to me. It makes me so sad. Okay, was it show this? Snow and ice will threaten millions across the region. It's like a video. Oh, maybe it's not. Ice threat from Texas to the Carolinas, including Dallas and Atlanta. When does it start? The latest winter storm will spread across the South through Friday night. Accumulating snow and ice will stretch from Texas and Oklahoma to Virginia and North Carolina. Treacherous travel conditions. Ooh, well, if you're in that area, please stay safe. Oklahoma, they're showing all kinds of snow right here. I-40 east of Oklahoma City, stranded motorist in a ditch is saved by a farmer with a big truck, hail bay and chains. Gotta love a good farmer with a hail bay. I used to help my aunt and uncle bale hay when I was growing up as a kid. I know it's hard to believe. And then we would go to the Four Rivers Festival in Fort Wayne. If you're from northern Indiana, you'll probably know what that is. Because whenever I say that to people, they're always like, oh my God, I know is it the Four, let's look it up and see. Is it the Four Rivers Festival? I think it's called the Four Rivers Festival. Four Rivers Festival, Fort Wayne. It just pulled up. Okay. Three Rivers Festival. I always get it wrong. Okay. Three Rivers Festival is a celebration of Fort Wayne's rich cultural diversity. The festival features the International Village. I can remember going there and getting, what do you call it? Those things that my mom and I used to get at the state fair. Tonight has been down memory lane completely. All right, well, I'm going to get off here now. Shorter than it usually is, but we still made it over an hour. So I'm going to relax a little bit. I hope that you guys are having a magically amazing Thursday evening and that you're getting ready for the weekend and that you have a fantastic beginning to your weekend tomorrow if you're watching this on Friday. And if nobody else has told you this today, I love you guys and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love you. Happy birthday, Lena.